Welcome to the introduction to MemberSync. The first thing I'd like to do is talk just a little bit about defining what MemberSync is. MemberSync is a bidirectional adapter to RE. It's an application that shares data between TAM and Razor's Edge, and it does it in a two-way fashion. There are many data elements that are integrated both ways. Living constituents from RE and any changes to their records go to customers in TAM. Conversely, any new memberships, new members, changes to members, same thing, that occur in TAM flow back into Razor's Edge. Information that's included in those memberships is primary preferred address, memberships, individual relationships are shared with the additional names aspect of TAM in a dual fashion. Member cards and additional names are also shared in a dual fashion. There is some data that is shared only one way, and that's because it really only needs to go one way. First of all, membership categories in Razor's Edge flow one way to membership levels and correspond with membership levels and benefits in TAM. Membership revenues in TAM for new sales, renewals, or upgrades flow to membership gifts in Razor's Edge. It's very important to mention, though, that this adapter to RE does not require the expensive RE API to be purchased by your organization. That's because the way that we're doing the integration does not require that type of direct integration. And the reason for that is that the integration of data flows one way into TAM automatically. We control that, and there's no involvement there on a scheduled basis, typically once a day. And the data that flows from TAM flows through the adapter automatically into the import files or import file structures in RE. That allows the development people to review the data in this adapter before in the import screen in RE before importing it in. And importing is a standard part of any RE application or any RE application that we integrate to, and so there's no need for the API to be purchased. Don't forget that there are some implementation services that come along with your purchase to MemberSync, and that is that we provide complete training and setup on this. So you'll see in a moment when we go through the video, there's some data mapping and defaults that need to be set. All of that is done with the assistance of our implementation team. Don't forget that any data migration that's necessary, for example, all living constituents and members that are existing in your RE database at the time you implement RE or implement MemberSync, are automatically brought over as part of our implementation services. And again, after the product is up and running, if you ever need any assistance or anything, you have ongoing help desk support. Okay, let's go and actually get into the application now at this point. Let's remember that whenever a membership is sold anywhere in TAM, or it's renewed, or it's upgraded, any of those functions are tracked in TAM and are the transactions that are brought over into MemberSync as part of the MemberSync integration. That's not to say that changes in MemberSync don't also come over. They do. And we talked about that a little bit earlier in the slideshow. But let's go ahead and just sell a membership here, and we'll sell a family membership. Now we could find an existing constituent or customer who maybe didn't have a membership before and has decided to buy one, or we can add one. So it's very straightforward to add a member. We can just simply type in the name, put in any contact address information that you'd like. And again, we can put in city, state. Of course, we can put in some contact information. So we're able to put in things like home phone. Email address, websites, mobile numbers. I'll just pop an email in here. and then away we go. Once the new customer data is entered in, then we're able to come into the membership screen. If this were a gift membership, we could change the member name. So if it were Sarah's grandfather buying the membership for her, that'd be fine. And again, we could then decide whether it's going to renew to Sarah or not. We can put in additional names. And we can put in any relationship there. This is a daughter. So again, additional names can easily be added to the membership at that point. All we do is simply click to add, and that membership is being purchased. We'll tender the sale normally, and that's all there is to creating or selling a membership in TAM. And in the next couple screens, we'll see how that then migrates and is viewable both in TAM and in Razor's Edge. Any membership activity that occurs in TAM that is likely to share with other membership applications, and especially in the case of MemberSync where we're sharing the membership sales, renewals, and upgrades with Razor's Edge, you would use the print membership activity report to kind of audit that activity. This is not a required step to share the data. Remember, that's an automated step. But there's an ability for you to preview any activity for any date range, today, yesterday, last week, last month, last year, and you're able to see all the activity, the transactions that created memberships, information about those members, levels, and much, much more. If you had any additional SKUs in membership that you had, like additional revenues for special things that you'd like to track, those would show up in this report as well, though they would not at this time go over as part of the integration of MemberSync. But this report would make it easy for you to update the customer's records because, you know, member ID, customer numbers, all of those are shown on this report. So that's the audit report in TAM for any activity that occurs. There's also an export capability of this data too. But again, that's not required if you're integrating to Razor's Edge, so we'll keep to that conversation. Integration to Razor's Edge is very straightforward, and part of the implementation process is just that as well. When you're implementing the application, you simply have to set up some integration settings and member rankings. The screen we're on right now, we got to by clicking on an icon on the desktop, entering in a valid username and password. It is a secure application. And what we're doing right now, again, I want to stress as part of the implementation process, though you can add levels easily and rearrange them, that's not a problem. Most often when some of these settings are made, then they're good to go for some time. This is not something you have to do each and every time. So again, we set up the actual member rankings in here. This helps us with upgrades and renewals, so we can see that as they're coming into Razor's Edge and record those. We also can set some integration settings, things like mappings of how the data will come from TAM and go into Razor's Edge, because everybody uses that slightly different. Things like prefixes, suffixes, phone types, and other settings. Obviously there's default settings and capability for mapping of the proper data and text files and things like that. So again, the implementation part is very straightforward. You set up these settings, you activate the scheduling of a sharing of data between the two applications, and you set up a date and time when that will start, and then once a day that information is brought over. Remember, the information from Razor's Edge to TAM is posted automatically. There's no intermediate review step. Data coming from Razor's Edge, or from TAM, I'm sorry, into Razor's Edge does have a review step, and we'll see that in a later session. That review step doesn't require any extra data entry or anything like that, but it does allow you to review the data before processing it into Razor's Edge. Once the synchronization has occurred between TAM on that scheduled basis, you're able to go right into the Razor's Edge application, go into administration, go into the import area, and you can see the files that are ready to be imported. They're preloaded here by TAM. That's part of the MemberSync integration. It allows you to review the data if you'd like. You can take a look at the actual file layouts, and the actual data can be shown just by spinning to the right here of what's coming in for each of the new members or any of the renewals or upgrades that have occurred. The data that comes in consists of the tables like customer, The gift information comes in, we update data into the memberships table, linked gifts, phone, various relationships, and member cards, kind of like we covered in the initial presentation. So again, you simply post these by selecting I've already done the first 4, but you can simply select the table, click on it, review it if you like, otherwise simply click Update Now, and it will post that information directly into the Razor's Edge application. Again, very short process, very quick. It doesn't matter if there's 2 records or 200, and the data then is put in. No duplicate entry or anything is required. Simply repeat that for each table that's in the list, and the data will be fully migrated into Razor's Edge. Once we've done the import of the data that's synchronized by TAM into the import tables, then our members exist in Razor's Edge wholly. Let's go ahead and pull up Sarah that we just brought over. And you can see here all the funds, dues that were paid are shown. We can see all the specific information about level or category of membership. We can also see the date joined and much more. We can view members and cards because again we had an additional family member that was part of her membership, and that information's been brought over. We also can see linked gifts. All of that information comes over directly from the TAM application. We can see membership history as well. Okay, so again, this is the same for whether a membership is sold new, as we did in this example, or whether the membership's been renewed. Any changes in names or addresses that are made in TAM are also brought over as part of that import process.